Hello my friends, and welcome to another painting process video. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Brenda, or BleesArt as I go by on the great worldwide interwebs. I am an illustrator, and today I'm sharing my process with you for painting a rocky, grassy, hilly landscape. So I've been in a bit of a natural fantasy magical landscape type of mood. And of course, my personal work has been reflecting that very much so. And today I'm going to be painting that type of scene on my third Pantone postcard. I have decided to go with acrylic paint again, as I did for my second postcard, and I chose this lovely light green shade. So before I get started, I chose a reference photo and I did some thumbnails. The idea I had, was to paint off of the edge of the colored area on the postcard. So that's probably not an original thought, but I wanted to try something different with this scene. So here we are. So as with the last two Pantone paintings, I'm going to tape my card down, but this time I'm going to tape it on the back only. So here you can see I make like this little loop-de-doop with the tape, and then I stick that onto the back side. And this way there's no tape on the front of my card, so I don't have to worry about trying to work around tape. I can just paint freely. Before I paint, I just like to sketch out a little map on my painting surface, so that way I know where everything's going to go in my composition. And I don't usually follow my references directly. I kind of like beg, borrow, and steal the basic elements of landscape reference, picking out kind of like what I want to be the important parts of my painting, and then I omit the rest of the stuff in the reference. I just ignore it. And to start painting, I begin with the background, the sky area, and the light trees in the distance. And I wanted to keep those trees really light because I wanted them to feel far away, so I'm trying to use that atmospheric perspective and make those trees that are in the back like misty or kind of barely noticeable. And as I move forward in the landscape, I make the new layer darker because I want those trees to look closer to me and like be more visible. I also start to put down some paint where I want the grassy hill to start and like the rocks and stuff like that. I decided to make these rocks, by the way. I think originally it started out as like a creek or something, but I don't know. I just felt like they were going to be rocks. So that's what we did. Sometimes you just got a feeling, you know? I mixed a darker bluish green kind of color for the trees in the foreground, which also helps define that crest of the hill area, and it really helps those closer trees stand out. I did mix a little bit of black in there, but I have mixed feelings about using black straight from the tube and not mixing my own black. I really only use black from the tube in really small amounts because I feel like it's so rich and contrasty that it's almost always too stark to use with other colors unless I kind of mix it up a little bit. So I did switch brushes to paint the trees that were like off the page, or I mean like off the edge, and I wanted to get in some of the smaller details of the leaves and branches, and it is easier in my opinion to do that with like a thinner brush or a detail brush, especially because these postcards are pretty small, so getting in smaller details can be more difficult with a larger brush. I also mixed a light green color that pretty closely matches the color of the card, and I wanted to just add in some tufts of grass that go around that crest of the hill where like the dark tree line starts, because I wanted it to feel a little bit more dimensional. It just felt so flat, like that grass was mowed. And I wanted some like taller wild grass in the front as well, so I just mixed in a little bit of white into that to just make it brighter, and I put in some wispy grasses in the front. Alright, so as far as the rocks go, I really wanted to define the rocks. So I took some of the dark color from before and I tried to imagine where like the shadows of the rocks would be. So that would be like the edges and the underneath areas, and I wanted to give them some like diverse shapes and angles. And then I added in some lighter spots on top of the rocks to give them a little bit more dimension and some texture. So pulling the painting off the surface made me a little nervous because I didn't want to rip the back of the postcard. I went really easy because I was so nervous, and I didn't check like the tack of the tape, which is like how sticky it is, before I started using the tape for the backing. So I was a little nervous, but thank goodness it went just fine. There was no ripping, everything was great. And yeah, as far as the painting goes, I think the acrylic may be the way to go, by the way, with these Pantone cards, for my taste at least. I actually really love the texture of the acrylic. There was no cracking. It just, I don't know, it flowed nicely, and I just really like it. And plus that tactile goodness is just chef's kiss. So there we have it, folks. Pantone painting number 3, done and done. As always, links and such are listed in the description, and I hope that you enjoyed this little painting process video. I look forward to spending time with you again in the next one. I will throw my socials up on the screen, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!